the person's choice at that time to say that all of it is none else besides him, and it's coming in order for man to choose none else besides him, and that he good that does good, and therefore a person goes and scrutinizes all the states in his world because they all come from the Creator and lead him to good. Yes, morning, in continuation of that scrutiny at the end of the letter, he talks about the plague of locusts, which has all the sparks of gur, meaning everything that a person goes through a person, it brings him to il. Final point, that's how it sounds at the end of the article, where he doesn't matter how many prayers he gives, he doesn't have the force to give a prayer because everything ends. He has no ability to overcome. The Creator covers everything, and there he depicts a certain miracle that he shifts from the Nisan month to where from Sion to Nisan. It's as if everything we do on the path, it's really the Creator. And how do you on the path if you know that it's all the Creator? How do you continue the work if you know it's all the Creator? But that doesn't delete you, it only explains to you how much you are as a keeper here of the place of the Creator, that you ask and you turn to him. I find myself asking for the force overcoming. Okay, let's say that I ask about it. It's never always clear to me what I'm asking, but I'm asking for that in some kind of way, and the force of overcoming here says that the best is that it's best for it all to end in Egypt, and then you reach a darkness where you're afraid to reach that darkness, at least I am, and then you reach great hatred, all the hatred that is there turn into something very, very special. But on the way you don't always remember that, and you see overcoming, and you relate things to the Creator, and then you say, well, hang on, what am I doing? All of a sudden then the prayer also ends there. I understand you that the situation is not fully scrutinized yet, and is that scrutiny a long process, or as much as you can, we should try to hasten it even if it's unclear. Maybe in continuation he says that in spirituality there are no letters, but all the multiplication in spirituality relies on the letters derived from the materiality of this world. What is a letter in the essence and essence? All the states we go through. What does it mean that a letter is written? A letter is a sign, a letter is a state. The letter is it's a special state. What does it mean to derive letters from the materiality of this world? So that we are beginning to relate the spiritual actions with the states that exists in order to receive and out of that we better clarify how we can assemble the letters. It seems like a person is only in spirituality or only in this world. He cannot write. So how do we connect between two things so that there'll be such a letter? The person who in spirituality feels the lack of letters, and a person in this world doesn't feel lacking anything, meaning our entire work is to discover the need in each and every state. How spiritual it is. How do letters add contentment to the work? Are the letters assemble the words, and then the words already rise and clothe the actions, because a word is really a complete formula. Is there something that we can take from that for our state? Not yet, but we're getting close, meaning people go through a sense to sense all kinds of states. They went through the state. What do they take from the state that they went through? What does it mean to take something from it? To scrutinize the situation and try to understand it as much as possible, but mostly it is to see the actions that lead to that state, like it in a how to put it that they emerge from each other, how the next state gets born from it. Yes, but when the next state is born, you're already in it. You don't need to engage in the previous state. Well, it's hard for me to express this. Yes, connection to that when a person goes through a certain problem, some suffering at a certain point. Let's say he's with us on the path, and he has his 10 as well who supports him at a certain stage. He wants to be a part of the system, like you said earlier. He wants to really connect everything to the Creator. He understands that what comes to him comes from the Creator, and at a certain point a prayer comes out of him. Yes, is that prayer the letters that we're talking about? Is that what the person raises are these the letters of the you're asking me what he raises? I'm asking in relation to letters. I'm trying so that there's more of a grasp on. It does the P, the words is the words that a person raises in prayer are those the letters, or is it something different? I'm trying to grasp this concept of letters. Letters, vessels, it's like some suffering that a person raises. Well, let's see. And that suffering or deficiency, we place the intention upon it. We see that everything comes from the Creator, and I try to progress the system as we talked about earlier. Yes, so I don't pray for myself in order to receive, but I pray in order to really succeed, to do the correct work. The question is that called letters? Yes, let's say this. These are their letters. So if we're looking at Psalms, and these are the prayers of King David, are these words the letters that Malot raises in the system? Is that what it's speaking about? I'm trying to grasp the concept of letters so that it's more tangible. Vessels, vessels that you already have complete, vessels from some path that you went through. Are the vessels a desire with an intention upon it? Yes, you have many questions and you're going to have more. We just have to move forward in the topic and understand we are soon finishing an hour. What are we doing next? On we can either go to the next part of the lesson, which is rash article, or we can go to a letter. Here I see many questions here and here, because we are already touching on the beginning to the end of creation, so I don't know what to say. Baller 3 Bolsher 3. The means of the letters we connect with the Creator, we speak with Him, is that our dialogue with the Creator. The question is, what does a person decide when he connects a certain deficiency together with a certain fulfillment? What is his role in that? In that he fulfills the vessels, the letters. The form is determined in the beginning. Yes, our Creator hardens Pharaoh's heart and takes you to Pharaoh. How in that are the letters created? That he increases the coarseness. He clarifies or reveals more and more letters. What does it mean that I revealed the letters? That you've discovered a special state between the light and the CLE that it fulfills. Is that some kind of concealment or distance that I need to reveal? It's a kind of connection between the light and the desire. Woman, Turkey 7. What is the help that we receive by that which we come closer to Pharaoh? We receive greater desires, and we assemble from it greater vessels, and all together this way we get to the revelation of their Creator, and to the point that we rise above ourselves and come out of Egypt. The Creator, the Pharaoh, essentially helps us with that. Okay, where do we have? Okay, no more questions. Dear friends, we have 2.5 more weeks till the convention, and we as a society want to prepare ourselves as much as we can. We want to prepare ourselves as a 10 as society as much as we can to implement the goals of the convention from now. So in the time we have, we want to go into the study materials, feel every moment in the convention, and plan ourselves as 10s how we can implement the preparation and in the convention itself and reach the goal. So let's go. I'll read some words from the meal. This last Friday there was a question. We are now during the critical preparation time towards the convention. How do we collect our forces and lock ourselves on the convention and go out to the attack? I think that the whole group that I see here is actually ready for the convention, men as well as the women, and we have 3 more weeks. We need to truly see the materials that will help us be even more ready, even more locked into the group that is going towards the convention. I think that we actually have no problem. We just need to see more plans, intentions for each and every lesson in their convention, and also the shows or the appearances that will be there for them also to be closer to what we talk about, learn about, for us to live during these days truly together from the very beginning to the end in each and every one. I inscribe it on my heart from one week to the next, the advancement of the groups, the 10s, And in truth, we're living in a live way. So just don't let go of it, and we'll come to the Congress even more ready and merit to support one another. So we all already know the flow of the convention of the lessons. Of course, our topic is strengthening in the 10, which is the main thing, and we're beginning with devoting ourselves to the spiritual goal, which is the topic of the first lesson. We're continuing with the society as a source of their power, and with the help of the society can their votal serves their spiritual goal. And of course this will only be enabled if we don't. It won't be enabled if we don't. Following the march, following the cyst, and the last session we're going to speak about disseminating the light, which is also an essential part of what we do, the life of a Kabbalist. So we want to get into the first lesson. We're diving in the topic is devoting ourselves to a spiritual goal. We'll read a few quotes from the lesson, and then we'll get into a workshop questions between us and the tea. Let's wash ourselves right now in the study materials in the light that's in the writings that we will be learning in the first lesson. We'll read each excerpt once, so let's be in a strong connection and let the light work on us. So quote number 2. Abashed with love of the Creator, we say that a person should work only for the Creator, meaning without any reward. This means that he is ready for complete devotion without any reward, without any return being borne out of his devotion. Rather, this is the core his purpose, that he wants to honor himself before the Creator, meaning to cancel his will to receive, which is the existence of the creature. This is what he wants to annul before the Creator. It follows that this is his goal, meaning his goal is to give his soul to the Creator. Let's hear another quote from this lesson, except number 3. Bam writes, "There's nothing more natural than coming into contact with one's Maker, for he has made nature, and in fact every creature has contact with his Maker. As it is written, the whole earth is full of his glory, except he does not know or feel it. Actually, one who is awarded contact with him attains only the awareness. It is as though one has a treasure in his pocket, and he does not know it. Along comes another and lets him know what is in his pocket. Now he really has become rich." And we'll read another one from Rob's words about the purpose of this convention. You said we need to enter the convention as one united vessel. How do we do that? Answered, before the convention, every 10 should discuss how they can be one man in one heart. This is all the time something you have to make sure you watch over, but especially before the convention, when we're all incorporated in everybody. It's desire that we will already be in the corrected form. So at least before the Congress, we should organize ourselves. Each group then will see how the convention will elevate us. If we won't feel some kind of elevation after the convention, it's a sign that the 10 didn't work the way it should have been. I'm completely serious. I wanted to maybe share with us something actually when we asked, what's the goal of the convention? Yeah, we asked in a conversation what the goal is. So it's a heartful connection in the 10 no lesson. That the topic of the first lesson, we speaking about spiritual attainment, spiritual elevation. When we asked Mashi in the preparation to this entire convention, what is the purpose of the convention for you? And Mush said, no less than spiritual attainment. That's what I want. So the question that we're going to answer now in the workshop in the 10, it's not a secret. We're used to conventions, we know them, we know how it works. There's a lesson meal as we know what happens, but here we want to reach spiritual attainment, this heartful connection, no less than that. So our workshop question now is, how are we preparing as a 10 to a convention of a spiritual ascent? No less than that. How do we prepare to a convention of spiritual attainment? No less than that. Please, friends, yes, we have a great exalted upper goal. We see that we're preparing for this convention and to go through it as a 10, to connect even more as a 10, and we really need to prepare ourselves for these goals of the convention. We need to make sure that every single friend will be able to come to the convention and fully participate as part of their convention as part of the then and truly ask for it. As we are coming to the convention to be even more connected and to want to devote ourselves even more and to ask the Creator to advance us to the next degree and together with the whole world. CLE, when we do it together, can happen. A person in spiritual attainment has special qualities that don't exist in this world, so first to scrutinize what those qualities are, how spiritual attainment expressed exactly, and again to scrutinize how to attain it, and through what the spirit of the when I first heard read the question, I'm like, oh, I guess we better get busy, because it's almost like, because it's asking what are we doing as a 10. You know, it's like, are we doing something extra? You know, I'm already thinking about making sure food is prepared so I don't have to worry about what I'm going to eat, and everything be done. Yeah, make sure all the excerpts that were prepared for the convention get read and we study them together. And yeah, definitely pray be prepared ourselves so that we're not the broken chain in the NRT. And yeah, I've heard RAV really wants us to build this foundation in RT so that we can join RT with other 10s. I mean, we all have to have our foundation, so it's important that we do connect together in our own 10. So yeah, I see where he's going with this desire of his for us, and yeah, I hope we all do him proud. I'll pass. I agree with what all my friends said. I think we have to pray, we have to use the we have to prepare and also they speak a lot about scrutiny and doing the internal work that's required, and perhaps that's a little bit more individual and that way when we come together as a 10 we are connected perhaps on a deeper level. But I think that with each convention we are supposed to sometime, well, I don't know, in the past when we've had these conventions, a lot of people come away with their descent to heavy descent, but I noticed for the last 2 conventions or 3 that hasn't been the case, that we weren't hearing a lot of those complaints, which is probably a really good sign for the collective T. And so I think we have to just orient ourselves internally so that we are connected to or aim to the Creator, and like Neil said, to pray, and like you said, Patricia, to read the excerpts and to prepare so that we take nothing for granted, and really the Creator will do the rest once we orient our hearts and we really do that internal work to prepare for the convention. Thank you, friends. Yeah, I'll be praying that the friends will feel their spiritual attainment, that when we walk away from the convention that we have a new life, new breath, new outlook, new feelings and connections, and we'll see newness and more fuel to move forward. I know a lot of us have been on that path a very long time, and we were close to that spiritual attainment, but I know for a fact also that I'm not one them. So what, as far as I'm concerned, I do is pray for the ones who are close to it to attain it, because it takes a while, it takes a long time. There are so many stages to go through to attain that spiritual attainment. So I pray that the ones who just see that extra push get it from our connection, and that they go ahead and attain that goal. Thank you. Oh, that's so important, Macarena, because it's the lower ones that are pushing the upper ones up. We're all going in that direction. So yeah, as long as we stay connected and do what we're doing, we're helping everything. Yeah, just thank you. Did you hear about the world that's happening in the north of Israel with Lebanon? So I hope that will really, kind of spark the praying more, and they come into the common prayer more like together, and really help us push more and more towards each other and create such that all of it will be taken care of with mercy, and these guys will be really able to meet together physically as well, all the people who coming, so they'll be able to do it by then. It's so important because physical contact, I remember that I went to the Congress, you felt good, I felt good, I believe that you felt good, but we felt like, I'm kind of going there and I'm bringing it to you, and I think it's really power to be together. So now we want to get into the second lesson. Society is a source of power, so let's read quote number 5 from the study. Materials. Res can be obtained, adhesion can be by adhesion between the friends. New qualities by which they will be qualified to achieve adhesion with the Creator, and all this can be said while he sees the merits of the friends at that time. It is relevant to say that he should learn from their actions, so we want to enter into this inner connection between us, this heartfelt connection between us, where everything is between us in the 10. And where we had a work meeting with Ra about the convention last week, we asked him what all lifelong we're going to be together inside that 10, and Ra answered, you're entering the 10 now, you need to be loyal to them. This is to the end. We ask them what to the end it's even more than the end of life, even after the end of life. So now in the 10, let's talk about the internal connection between us. Let's talk about the eternal connection between us in the 10. The eternal connection is in the of eternal connection. That's how they phrased it in English. And you know why I feel that the internal connection is that when we are all probably, have a connection, that are old, that really connects to all, to the beginning probably, otherwise we won't really the roots like game or whatever, it's similar. And I believe that's why we want similar things, I guess, and we're attracted to this goal, and we have to, I feel like it's, when you are doing this work, when you're on this ped, people are after, while that you do this work, I don't feel like faces that really matter all that much. You don't really pay that much attention to what the person is doing. How old is he, his face or whatever, or how he dresses, or anything physical is not so important. You're really kind of feeling the person. You're really more connected on a different level, like a deeper level of connection, more Eric, That's right, so that's how I feel like it's how. Okay, go next. Yeah, because if they tell us that we are parts of our soul and we are coming together to join that soul back as one, that soul is not for now, it's eternal, it's not into the corporal, it's all into the spiritual. It's so it is an eternal connection. We are having parts of a soul joining together. Thanks. Yeah, and to add to what you're saying, only the Creator is eternal, so I mean he is the one who is bringing the connection about. Once our hearts are aim, we are like the little sparks which are the part of the whole, but he is the eternality between us. He's only spiritual, we don't even have words for him, but he brings that connection. Once we are surrendered, I think to the connection between the friend, that's where my mind was going. None else besides him, that's all there is outside of me. Everything you all bring to me, it's all from the Creator. All I have to do to be connected is to know myself to where I disappear, then I'm incorporated, because then I don't exist, and everything else does. As long as I'm in myself, nothing else exists. It's just me. It's just surrendering, submitting, and I put all my faith, all my trust in the Creator, that his will just be done, and it's the best thing for me, it's for you, for everything, it's the best. There's nothing but good, it's all good, it's the future is good, there is no bad. We just think there is, but it's not, it's just eternal love connection, bestow. That's all that really exists, and just trust in the process. Parse. I don't know if this is relevant or not, but I think of our spiritual mothers as the ones who prayed for us, and we're just an answer to their prayers. I don't know why I think that, but I'm always fall back to Rachel's tears, how she prayed for the children, and we're the children, and so we don't want to let down our mothers. We want to pass it on for more children and connect everything together because they prayed for us. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but that's where my mind's thinking. I like the thought, that's very true. I didn't think about it. I need to appreciate more our mothers, because they did have such an amazing quality. Each one of them has that. Really, it's nice to tap into it. Normally we speak about the sages, the men, right? It's so nice to think about the models too. That's a good one, thank you. Patty so it's very cool to look at this whole all the people in this CLE and feel like, well, we have something in common, We have this level of yearning that we want to understand what's the game here, and who's in charge. And we all believe that you know that there is a creator, and is benevolent, and it's very cool to come together like that on a daily basis. Most of the time and age it feels very eternal to me. That's the one of this is the place at you can call eternal in this life. Nothing else feels eternal to me, yet it makes me think of Tony saying watch your life mate, sense by the way I listen to the music for the converse to the whole like hour and a half or something like that. It was motivation to clean. Topic of the second lesson is the power of the friends is we felt how the connection between us is eternal, how to what extent we're rising together to the Creator and our common appeal no internality that we're feeling now. Connected to right now in the lesson. Link for the music is not always sustained in US who's in advanced class. Sometimes we can also go out to all kinds of things that are singly external. Even though they're connected to path, we can even be doing a workshop together. We're doing a duty in the convention. We're sitting at a meal in the convention. We even sitting in a lesson in the convention, but the internal place of that common prayer, that common appeal, that yearning that we want to connect between us in the hearts that somehow eludes our attention. And we also asked about this breaking out of the heart, this a breach of the heart that we need to be in the convention, and said I think that 2 days of a congress are very compressed, but there has to be an outburst of the hearts, and I think we'll succeed. We must succeed, so come on with the Creator's help. So let's speak about that explosion of the hearts, that heartful connection between us. How do we focus on the connection between us and reach the outburst of the heart again? How do we focus on the connection between us and reach that outburst of the heart? Okay, when I hear the word outburst of the heart, I think of joy, so I'm thinking to reach that outburst we need to bring our spirit of joy to the group. Yeah, it's very important. Sorry, go. It's a really important to bring joy and to really remember to be joyful in the work, cause sometimes, as we notice, there's a lot of frustration, and like to understand what we're supposed to do. And I feel like the women a little bit more of faithful, a little bit I don't know, they scrutinize deeper, so they don't have so many conflicts, I think, like men. But yeah, when you all of a sudden remember some of the men, really one of them like a staff, the musician, he always cheerful and with gratitude, and always brings joy every time he even answer, even when he ask questions. It's always like you can feel the joy in this guy. That's so important, because God doesn't, the Creator really doesn't understand sadness or bitterness or so that's the only thing that we can really focus on, and that's everything. The prayers bring a lot of joy, even if they seem sad, but there's many types of prayers. We have to really focus on. I'm more joyful. Yeah, I'm sorry friend, I have some internet issues, but yes, I think I'm back to what Yahel was saying is the importance of joy, and we are all going through so many different states, and we don't know from which state the friends are coming into the convention, and that's where prayer is so important, so that the ties of love between the friends become like bound, and just having the friends there is a joyful moment, it's a joyful experience, and that swells the heart, just knowing that we're not alone on this path, that the Creator called us to do this great work, this sacred work, and that is what inspires that we actually, as small and as tiny as we are, we all fulfill some sort of role when we come together as one, so that is a joyful quality, that is a bursting of the heart, and then all the other stuff is just like the icing on cake, the singing and the connection and the prayer, but because we're trying to become like Him. I loving the friends, it's just, I think when the friends are together in connection and in a particular setting, like a convention, it's a swelling of the heart. I think it's amazing, but yeah, it's orienting our Heart a toward connection toward the Creator. Yes, being reciprocal with each other. I mean that's what the Creator wants from us. He wants a reciprocal relationship with us, and when we have our friends before us interacting with us, it's reciprocal, and that gives us fuel to keep going on, because we don't want to let our friends down. We want to help. We want to give that joy to the Creator, bring him that contentment, and it's all in helping each other. Sorry, there's a fruit F this. Heartfelt connection is not a simple thing, and remember Thursday we were in this work meeting with our AV, and I had a 10 meeting, and so I came with great impression what our AV said about the achieving of heartfelt connection between us. So we said, let's talk about this is our goal. There was suddenly a feeling for many friends that this heartfelt connection, we really want it. But how do we attain it? It was a feeling that there specifically you need to beat knock on there, because it sounds like a simple thing, but it's completely not simple. And Rob said in one of the afternoon lessons this week, and we will read it, we need to sit together in the tea and to give ourselves the opportunities in the possibilities to talk short, but in an disclosed manner. Why I cannot be connected with the other. Very simple. We now are before the convention. We're in a very specific, unique state. We can build the CLE, so it will be a unique CLE or not. What we receive from this gathering will depend on this, and that's why we need to talk about this straight into the point. This is what I recommend for each and every 10. Let's read it again. We need to sit together in the 10 and give ourselves an ability to speak briefly but out in the open. Why can't I be connected with the other? Simple. So now or before the convention, when a very special state, we can build this vessel, that it will be one vessel or not. It depends what we it here will depend on. That's why we have to discuss it straight into the point. That's what I recommend to each and every 10. So let's answer that straight and simple. Why can't I be connected with my friends in the T? Why can't I be connected with my friends in the 10? Straight and simple and short and disclosed. If I can't connect with my 10, it's because I'm only connected with myself. That's the only thing I could think of that would disconnect me from the friends. It's I'm in the way. Really, there's nothing else that could come between us except myself. It's the self. So I don't know what else to say. You guys help me out here. That's all I got is I'm the problem. If I'm not connected, and if my friends aren't connected, it's my fault because I didn't do anything to make it happen. I agree that the self and the reception the self is definitely the reason for a lack of connection. But I also know that sometimes corporeal things get in the way and distract us from connecting with the friends, and sometimes it's how we respond to these forces acting on us, and this is why it is so important to be in connection with the friends, to pray with the friends, to have the setting. Because I could tell you, Patty, on a daily basis I'm bombarded, and I think we all are to some extent, by the corporeal world, and it is distracting, and it creates separation in the connection between the friends. It creates separation and the connection between us and the Creator, and so it's so important, like every hour, say, to just open up your phone, which I struggle to do, just to check what my friends leave, what little messages or tidbits of prayers, and sometimes that's enough just to move me into to the center, the middle line. I'm not even trying to get any higher than that. I'm just trying to get to the middle line where I know my friends are going to be, because the world can be a very disruptive place if we're not if our hearts aren't aimed toward the Creator. Noted, be a little more active there, because I hear a laugh. That's wholesome. Thank you. That's what the purpose of a workshop is to discover deficiencies. That's awesome. Yeah, it helps if you're able to perceive the future state when you're in that problem, because everything does pass. We're never stuck in those terrible states forever. They do pass, so we have to focus on where we're going and just keep our eyes on the prize and just keep moving forward. Karen, your desire to care for the friends, it blows me away. I see so much care and concern from you, Karen, that it just you're an inspiration to me, and I just want to tell you that I'm grateful to be in this tea with you, and I don't know who I cut off, but please go. Friends, we know that in order to agree, to want to be ready to connect with the friends in one heart, we need the help of the Creator, and that's why we need to turn to Him and to turn to Him together. So we're actually coming, we are constantly in this, and now we want even more to put an emphasis on this of our common appeal together to the Creator, the most important moment, the most decisive moment for us in the lesson, and we also chose this beautiful excerpt from Rabesh that gives us the correct intention for our prayer, with which we will also continue to the prayer in every tense. So Rabesh tells us we're asking for the Creator to give us the power so that we will be able to do all that we do for you, meaning for the benefit of the Creator. If not, meaning if you were not to help us, then all our actions will only be for our own benefit, and this is the meaning. If not, meaning if you do not help us, all our actions will be only for ourselves, for their ourself benefit, since we have no force to overcome our will to receive. Hence help us so that we will be able to work for you. Therefore you must help us, and this is called make for your sake, meaning perform this action in giving us the force of the desire to bestow, otherwise meaning if not we are lost. So let's take these words, let's take this prayer, and now every friend asks from the Creator for his tea that will all close between us in one heart. Every friend asks from the Creator to become one heart. Please active workshop. I pray that the Creator will show us anything that's interfering with our ability to connect, that will be able to rise above it, overcome it, and become 1-0 in one heart, and be in this convention with all the others, and that we will all influence each other, and we will bring this joy and contentment to the Creator, that we will be in His well and be aware of it and be a part of it and be His partner. I have to second these words to the Creator. Thank you, Patty.